and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, you're just joining us, please like, share and subscribe. This is Agatha the midwife, and I'm going to be sharing with you for just 5 minutes of your time. And if you have been with me, thank you for staying with me all the while, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking to you about what I promised to talk about in my first video, which is the tetanus toxoid vaccination. So sit back, relax and enjoy yourself. And just by way of a little input, I am wearing a double cap today. So I'm wearing midwife and mommy cap at the same time. So you'll pardon me if I get a little bit distracted and if this video takes a little over 5 minutes, but I want you to enjoy yourself. You're going to learn something new, and I'm glad that you're doing this with me. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that Agatha the midwife has interesting stuff going for you up on her YouTube channel. Thank you. So let's go straight into what we have for today. We're talking about the tetanus toxoid vaccine or vaccination. But then before we go for that tetanus vaccination, what's that? You've been hearing the word tetanus, and it's just that thing that happens, when someone has an injury and then they say take vaccine, take injection, tetanus injection. Well, tetanus, as you have always called it, you might not know what it is. Tetanus is a serious, what we call acute illness or infection that is caused by a bacterium. I'm not going to bore you with the name of the bacterium right now, so you don't say what's she's saying, but it's caused by a bacterium. And the major signs and symptoms you see is seizures, or what we call muscle spasms, locked jaws, like person begins to clench their jaws and their teeth together. And then there is headache, that's for adults now, fever, sweating, okay. And then mostly these spasms or these contractions, these muscle spasms we're talking about, these seizures, are mostly of the voluntary muscles. Voluntary muscles are muscles you can control, but when these voluntary muscles, which a person should be able to control, begins to have this twitching, uncontrollable seizures, we can say that, okay, this person is having a tetanus infection. And then in babies, what are the signs and symptoms you see? The signs and symptoms you see are clenching of the fist. This same muscle spasms also occurs in babies. And then they are unable to breastfeed. Clenching of the fist, the jaws, the voluntary muscles generally. And then babies are unable to breastfeed and they cry excessively. So why is it important to get vaccinated? It's important to get vaccinated as a preventive measure. We don't want to wait until the infection sets in, because most of these cases, most tetanus infection cases, ultimately result in death, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we encourage people to get vaccinated. But the emphasis is much more on women and children in this video, because children, we know their immune system builds up over time. So that's why even from birth, they start taking the vaccination against tetanus toxoid and other child killer diseases that we know. And then for women, because when a woman gets pregnant, naturally her immune system is suppressed because her body is creating something new. And then we don't want a situation where her body begins to fight the growing fetus on the inside of her. So her immune system is naturally suppressed. That's why a woman is part of her antenatal routine, that at some point during her antenatal visits, she's going to get the tetanus toxoid injections to keep her immune against the tetanus infection. But generally now, we are no longer having to always wait till a woman is pregnant before she gets the tetanus toxoid vaccination. Now, World Health Organization has made it such that every woman of childbearing age can get vaccinated against the tetanus. In other words, once a lady starts seeing her menstrual period, that's once she attains menarche, she can start taking the tetanus toxoid vaccine, and that will run for 5 years, not 5 years, 5 doses, okay. And then I'm going to call out those doses for us. So these doses I'm calling out right now are particular to women of childbearing age, not just pregnant women. So you don't have to wait till you're pregnant before you start taking the tetanus toxoid vaccine. I started taking mine before I even got married, so that my last dose, I started taking mine in 2019, and it so happened that my last dose fell in my third trimester of pregnancy. So before I had my baby, I took the last dose, which is the 5th dose for myself. So every woman is expected to take 5 doses, and I'm going to read it out to us how it should be taken. So the first dose she takes in her first contact with the healthcare provider or during her first pregnancy. Okay, you might say, well, it's not my first pregnancy, but I've not taken it before. You can still go ahead and take the tetanus toxoid vaccine. Then the second dose comes 4 weeks after the first dose. She goes back for the second dose. Then the third dose comes 6 months after the second dose. The fourth dose comes 1 year after the third dose, and the 5th dose comes 1 year after the 4th dose. You're going to see it on the screen as I explain, and I'm going to try and present a table or a link that you can view it for better understanding. So for every woman, that's 5 doses. Okay, the first dose, then 4 weeks after the second, 6 months after the third, 1 year after the fourth, and 1 year after the 5th. Then for children, we have what we call primary vaccination. Children get to take this tetanus toxoid vaccination or vaccine in the what we call penta. Penta is against DPT, whooping cough, and I think tuberculosis. Penta as per 5, so they're taking that vaccination against 5. And the DPT, we have diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, then whooping cough, and tuberculosis. So children take theirs. We have the primary vaccination for children, which is 3. They take the first one at 6 weeks, the second at 10 weeks, and the third at 14 weeks. So you notice for children is 4 weeks interval. Then as they grow older, they now have to take 3 booster doses, of which they have 2 in childhood and 1 at the age of adolescence. So the 3 booster doses for children come, the first booster dose is between 12 to 23 months. Then the second booster dose comes about 4 years after, which is between 4 to 7 years. And the third booster dose comes about 4 years after, which is 9 to 15 years. After the booster doses for children, generally for every adult and for every person, it is expected that you take a booster dose every 10 years. Now, this is something that we don't quite we haven't quite been practicing, because most people have not known about it. Hey darling, because most people have not known about it. That's why this video is important for you to share, for you to know that, oh, this thing is important. Don't think that, oh, tetanus should only be taken when there's an injury or when there's an accident or something. It's preventive, it's protective, it's helping your immune system. So it's expected that every individual gets a dose of tetanus vaccine every 10 years of their life. Now you say, oh, well, I'm 50 already, I'm 40 already. You can start regardless. You can start regardless. You could go to a healthcare center, a hospital, and, ask of the immunization unit and let them know, oh, I want to take a booster dose of the tetanus toxoid vaccine. It's World Health Organization recommended, so this is not just some story I'm trying to tell you. I really do hope that this has been educative. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section. You could send me a message, WhatsApp only, please. My number is in the description. My handles as well are in the description. You could send me a WhatsApp message. You could send me your questions. You could leave them in the comment section, and I'll be glad to answer you. Thank you for staying with me. I really do hope that this was educative and really helpful. And please don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. Like, share, subscribe. There's a lot of educative stuff going on here, and there's no me without you guys. So till I come your way again, stay healthy and stay happy. Bye for now.